Hello, we're back. I think I'm glitched for a bit, anyway. Yes, indeed. So I add shaders. The sun is bullshit. You know that. The sun is bullshit, man. I can't even see the sun. It's like a blocky shit. I think my shaders fix that. Because I hate the fucking morning. Morning sucks. I'm in my groove. Can you just... Like, it's a little shader, but not that shader. No, it doesn't have any shadows, did it? Like, is there shadows here? I don't know. Am I lagging? I don't know. What the fuck, man? I play Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. This is bullshit. Yes, I put something here to put something here. Alright? Okay, I don't know what's the camels are. Where is the fucking camels? Like, these are my farmlands. I don't know where the fuck. Yeah, my grass getting fucked by the eating grass, bro. It's fine. Actually, dude, where's the other camels, bro? No. They're here. If they're here, fuck this game, man. No, it's normal sun, bro. It's normal sun. I think it's shadows. I don't know. I feel like I want more sheep because I need some walls. Okay, my plan is to expedite my findings, and I don't know. To expedite my findings, do I have any stuff right here? I don't know. I'm trying to find some goats. Not goats, actually. You can kill goats, actually. No.
real quick, the Karen's not done. I just want to let you know, the Karen is coming back. But sure enough, they say their vows to each other, put the rings on the fingers, they have a big make-out session, they go to 10th base, how weddings normally go. And sure enough, everyone's clapping, it's great, they're walking out, everyone's fun, life is good. So the final thing is the kind of like the dinner that is after the wedding, the final part of the wedding. So anyways, it's time for the dinner. And remember, Brian's mom is still banned from the dinner because she's still just banned from anything wedding.
What the fuck happened, bro?
Brian was honestly
Wait, what?
so angry with her.
Did I destroy my shit? I did destroy my shit. The hell? Well then, let's keep it over here. I don't know. Let's keep it over here. Okay, what is this?
My wife now at this point, they can't get along. So they're
Is
sitting
it the
at dinner,
textures?
and a lot of times at
Oh,
the
yeah.
dinner after the wedding, people will make
It is the textures, man.
They'll have their glass, they'll ding
Fine,
it, and
bro.
then they'll basically just talk
It doesn't
about
matter at this point.
the bride,
Whatever.
the groom, the wedding, how lovely the day is, like the atmosphere in the air, stuff like that. And unfortunately, the security guards, there was only 2 of them, and they weren't necessarily guarding the entrances at all times. So guess who snuck back in? Yes, the Karen. The Karen snuck her little butt back in and found a way to kind of hide while the reception dinner was going on. And sure enough, people are going up there. They're saying, "Oh, like, so like excited to see you." Like, we're not so excited to see you, but like, I'm so like, this was such a beautiful day, you guys. Oh my God, my best friend Kate is getting married. All that kind of like typical stuff. Like they're saying like this, it's like, oh, it's so wonderful to see you guys up here. You're married, and my heart is melting. And that's when like they put down, the last person to make a toast steps down, and you know who steps up? Brian's mom. And she takes a glass and basically, so normally what happens, right? Normally what happens is you take a fork or utensil and you gently ding the glass. That's to get people's attention. Brian's mom takes an empty glass and chucks it on the ground and basically gets people's attention by the sound of glass shattering. And she's
Yes,
like,
there's a pillager outpost there. If I get out the fucking thing, it'll probably help me and kill these guys.
Everyone's like, bro,
Dude, I was planning to get an iron golem, but I don't know.
what do you mean you're a special day?
Dude, I have a plan. I have a plan in mind. I escaped their prisoner, and then
I've been trying to say this for the longest time,
and then kill them.
listen to my logic. He's like, I tried to stop the wedding last night by protesting it, yet none of
Yeah.
you fools, points to everyone in the audience, none of you fools decided to do what was right.
How do you do
I
lights?
tried
Is this
to
freaking
steal the
down?
rings
Or
away to make sure that the wedding could not go through, but these moron security guards stopped me. At this point, Kate turns over to Brian. She's like, Brian, she stole the rings? He's like, yeah, I didn't want to tell you at the time. Seems like we want to ruin your day. I was going to tell you eventually. She's like, oh my God, that's crazy. It's like, tell me. Yeah, tell me something I don't know, Kate. And sure enough, she gets to be like, and this is where I put my foot down. And she turns to like the official, like the kind of like the person who made like the wedding official, because he like was able to stay and like eat dinner with them. She turns to the person, like the priest or whatever, and says, undo the wedding! By the power of God, I commend you to undo the wedding! He's like, that's not how it works, man. She's like, undo it! Divorce them! Divorce them now! Undo your spell of wedding! At this point, Brian's like, oh my God, I have to go up there. So Brian walks up, he's like, Mom, I asked you to leave. She's like, Brian, you don't know what's good for you, but as your mother, I know what's good for you. Always. I always know what's good for you. Yeah. Brian, no. Stop the wedding. Stop the wedding. Cancel it. I'm going to get my Facebook group to come after your Facebook, Kate. They're coming for you. And that's when Brian's like, security guards come over. And as they're kind of pushing, Brian's mom out of the building, she's like, Brian, you won't get away with this. You won't get away with this. And turns to Kate and be like, this is not the last of me. I will get you two to divorce if it's the last thing I do. As she's being dragged out the door, boom, door slams.
all right, let's get some research.
Brian goes up there. Just want to say thank you all so much for coming to my wedding. I love each intentional. Every single
I'm
one
not
of
gonna
you,
do it for trees
some
by
of you
trees,
are
not all
kind of
of
in the
them.
doghouse
I'm trying
right
to get some
now,
food.
insinuating his
Alright.
mother, and he's like, I just want to say
Alright.
apologies for any distractions that might have happened last night or recently. By recently, I mean a couple seconds ago. I just want to let you know that don't let that destroy the mood or the atmosphere. Some people just don't get it, and that's okay. I would like you all, to have a great rest of your night. Remember, dancing will be in an hour. I want to see all of you guys on the dance floor, and just thank you guys so much for coming. And everyone claps him out, and he walks back
Another
to the table
black
and sits down next to
horse?
Kate. And Kate's
This
like,
one's much blacker, holy shit.
this was a pretty great wedding. And, even with all the stuff that happened, Brian looks at her, and this kind of looks like directly into the eyes of his wife, the person that he is planning to spend the rest of his life with. It's just like, how's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a
these
great
guys are
day.
persistent,
Because
bro.
today I have 3 Karen stories that I know that
They're
you will enjoy. So sit back,
not a whisper,
relax,
bro.
subscribe to the channel if you're new. Listen to this on Spotify if you haven't already, or if that's your preference. First link in the description. And let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this first Karen story Alex. So anyways, right, Alex was, tasked to babysit his cousin, and they were at a fair. So basically, Alex and his family,
Did
they
they
were
sabotage this
staying
one?
with, the other part
Yeah,
of
let's
Alex's
sabotage
family
this
with
one
his
now.
cousin, and, they
let's
all, they were
sabotage. Come
hanging out
here.
for like a week together, just
Come
some
here.
quality family time.
Yes, we sabotage
and,
this
Alex
baby.
was asked to
Holy
babysit
shit.
his cousin because Alex was
Holy
significantly older. His cousin was like 6 or something.
This is my donkey
He was
right there.
asked to
Oh,
babysit
fuck.
him when they were going to the fair because, maybe the parents wanted to go somewhere else. Maybe,
I just
they
pick
just
up
wanted to
random
give
horses
Alex
just
and his
trying
little
to-
cousin flexibility to do what they wanted to do. Alex was around 15 at the time, so he wasn't an adult, but he was definitely old enough to like have that sort of responsibility. So anyways, Alex and his little cousin,
Come here.
they were walking around, they were checking
Yeah.
out rides they wanted to go on, and all of a sudden they were standing in line for one of these rides, and behind them came a Karen. And this Karen was like the quintessential Karen, and she was going on these rides by herself, which totally fine, but the following actions are not as if, she's trying to do it for her, like, son or her kid or whatever.
Come here, boy.
It's because she wants to go on the ride.
Come
So anyways,
here,
right,
and
Alex and
yes,
his little
we got
cousin,
it, boys.
they're standing in line for this ride that they both really want to go on. And the Karen behind them goes like, "Excuse me, gentlemen," and they both turn around.
Here,
She's
take
like,
care of that baby.
I really want to go, I really want to go on this ride. Like, I need to go soon. Can I cut in front
Like,
of
I
you
need a
guys?
bed somewhere, bro.
And the thing was, like, this
Like, what's the
line
point
was,
of getting a
this
bed
was
right
a
now?
pretty big
Staying out of
line. So, there was, like, a lot of people. And, Alex, Alex and his little brother, not his little brother, his little cousin, Alex was kind of thinking to himself, like, no, like, I don't want that. Like, look, we've been waiting in line for a while. I just don't think I can do that. And so, Alex says, hey, like, I'm sorry, like, we don't have a ton of time either, but I feel like this line's going pretty quickly. And the Karen is like, but I'm your elder and a lady. That should be like double the respect, so you must allow me to pass you in line. And like at this point, Alex was kind of just like looking at her like, ma'am, I'm sorry, no. Because like, first of all, bro, like maybe if like you had like a little kid and you were like explaining to me, look, my son really wants to go on this line. We have to go, like, our ride is coming in 10 minutes. Can you please let us cut? Okay, fine. But if you're just like a Karen who wants to go on the ride, look, I want to go on the ride too. And my little cousin wants to go on the ride. And I just don't think I'm going to let you cut on this one. I'm sorry. I have no obligation to do that. I get it that you're older than me. I get it that you're a lady, bro. But that doesn't matter. That simply doesn't matter. And the thing is, right, the Karen supposedly took it very well. And she was like, oh, okay, that's fine enough. The thing is, though, right, this was not actually the reaction in her head. Apparently, the Karen was so shocked that anyone would say no to her that, like, all this rage and anger started to build up. It started to just, like, build up and fester. She started getting angrier and angrier. And Alex and his little cousin turned, like, back around, right? They're not going to continue on the conversation with the Karen. It's a little awkward right now. But, they're just not going to continue on the conversation, you know what I mean? And so sure enough, right, the Karen says, excuse me, boys, once again. And she kind of had a tone in her voice. Like, that kind of tone when someone says, like, when someone has, like, the tone that's, like, kind of like a babying voice where they try and baby you, but it's also super, super condescending, where they're like, hello, can you turn around for a second? I just want to talk to you just one second. Like, I don't know, like a little kind of, like, voice like that. So Alex already knew He already knew from this, like, right off the bat that they were going to be in for some nonsense, bro. Some grade A, class A nonsense. So sure enough, Alex turns around. He's like, okay, what's up? Like, what's going on here? And, you know, the Karen is like, what's your two relationship? Like, what's the deal with you two? And Alex is like, oh, this is my, like, little cousin. I guess the Karen wants to know if they were, like, siblings or friends or random people. I don't know. And the Karen is like, you know, Alex, I really don't think that you're doing, or she didn't say Alex because she didn't know his name. She's like, you know, I don't think that, you know, you're doing a good job showing, like, teaching your little cousin respect. You did not do a good job at all teaching your little cousin respect. That's all I gotta say. It's not very respectful of you. You know, he's looking up to you. He needs a good teacher, and you're honestly not a good teacher for him. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're not teaching him respect. I asked if I could cut in front of you, and I am your elder, and you said no very rudely. And so Alex is like, quickly is like, hey, well, come on now. Like, I didn't say it rudely, and, like, I'm sorry. We just want to be on this ride, too, and the line isn't that crazy. Like, come on now. Like, it's all good. Yeah, maybe Alex could have let her go in front of her. It's not, like, the biggest deal either way, but the Karen was making it, like, the biggest deal ever, and she's like, you know what? Fine, you know what? He's gonna, you know what? The Karen is just, like, stumbling over her words at this point. And Alex kind of just turns back around and she says, you know, your little cousin's gonna learn manners one way or another. I won't let him not learn it. And Alex felt that was, like, a really weird way to word it. Like, that was a really weird way to say, like, I'm gonna make sure that your little cousin learns manners? Like, what do you mean? Like, we'll never see each other again. Alex, at that point, thought that he'd never see this woman again. However, he was unfortunately very mistaken. He was quite mistaken. So anyways, eventually Alex and the little cousin get to the ride, front of the line. They're led on, and it's a fun ride, and they had a good time. So they get off, and the little cousin's like, or Alex is like, hey, can you just wait here? I'm going to go to the bathroom. Alex goes in the bathroom, washes his hands, you know, does all this stuff. He comes out. His little cousin is gone. So immediately, he just gets a pit in his stomach. He's like, oh my God. Like, he starts yelling out. He's like, Ben, where are you? We're going to say the little cousin's name is Ben. Ben, like, this isn't funny, man. You can't hide from me. I can't let this happen, right? Come on, come out now. And, you know, he started to get really nervous because, you know, understandably he's nervous. I mean, he was tasked with taking care of this kid, and all of a sudden this kid disappears. So he starts looking around.
Okay, where's my thing,
and he
bro?
yells out, like, Ben!
Dude,
Ben!
did he disappear?
And so he just starts walking out, and he's like, oh my God.
No,
And Alex
bro,
gets a buzz on his phone, he checks it, it's his mom
He's
being like,
gone.
hey, can you meet us at the whatever in 10 minutes? And he's like, oh no, not just the fact that I lost him, but now I gotta be there in 10 minutes, and there's no way that I can tell my mom, oh yeah, by the way, I lost our cousin. Yeah, no, I just lost him. So at this point, you know, Alex is walking around the fair,
you stop
trying
it,
to
bro.
just figure out where his little cousin
Dude, I don't know what the
And that's when he gets
how
a
the
glimpse of
fuck did
someone
you get?
that he
This
thinks
guy's
is his
so
little
smart,
cousin. So he
right?
immediately
IQ than
runs
me.
over, and
I don't
it's
know.
just like a crowd of people, a huge
Like, he
flood
has
of
big
people
IQ than
are
me, Jesus
walking
Christ,
in his
man.
direction. That basically just means he's slowed down, he's struggling
Like, this is
to
the
get there,
smartest
he's
horse in
being pushed
Minecraft, bro.
back and all
Jesus
this kind of
Christ.
stuff. But
Like,
he
you
definitely
goddamn smart
very
as shit, man.
clearly
Jesus.
sees that it's his little cousin.
How the
So he's
fuck
like,
did
oh
you
my
get
God.
there, bro?
And he sees his little cousin, and his little cousin is like being led by someone. And he's so confused, like, who's leading him? And he looks up, it's the Karen. The Karen has the little cousin's hand and is holding it, and it's kind of dragging him around. Remember, the little cousin's like 3 or 4. So for all we know, the Karen said, hey, I know your mom, like, come with me.
Alright, I'll
First
call
of
you
all,
smart
bro,
ass,
that's
bro.
like
You're
the first thing
smart,
my mom
bro.
told me. She's like,
You're
look,
the smartest
white van
horse
or
I've seen. You're
stranger,
the fastest.
don't get in. They need help,
Damn.
like, finding their puppy. Like, don't get in, bro. Like, I'm sorry, they got candy. Don't get in, bro. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Don't do it. So sure enough, right, you know, Alex at this point is freaking out, which understandably I would be freaking out too. And but at least now he knows where his little cousin is. So he starts like walking the
Probably
direction
get a
of the
horse
Karen.
breed. I don't know.
And you know, the Karen is like turns around and sees Alex and starts moving away faster. The Karen is basically trying to kidnap this kid, right? So Alex turns to the security guard and says, "Hey, like my little cousin, his name is Ben. He looks like this." He pulls out a photo. He's with this woman who was like talking to me earlier. She basically has like, you know, abducted him or whatever. So the security guard takes this very seriously. Says, "Okay, thank you." And he goes into his walkie-talkie and says, hey, if you see a kid who is about like 4 feet tall, brown hair, wearing a Buzz Lightyear shirt, with a woman about 5'5", 600 pounds, I'm just kidding, with this like glasses, shorter haircut, and a pink shirt, please stop them at security. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of the description, and that's when like Alex starts going out. He starts sprinting. He starts running really fast, and he just can't find.
Yeah,
him.
you
He's
smart
freaking out, right?
ass.
He also
You're
gave the
smart
security
ass,
guard his
bro.
number so he could contact him.
That's why
And his
I'm not
mom
even mad
is
at
like
you, bro.
sends a
You're
text.
smart, bro.
Alex looks at his
Jesus
phone.
Christ.
The text
so
says
smart.
waiting ...
Yeah.
At this point, Alex realizes it has been 10 minutes. And remember, his mom said, I need you to be here in 10
keep looking at me,
minutes.
bro.
So at this point,
It's like
right,
you're having
Alex
mine your
needs
own.
to be there in 10 minutes, or it needs to be
You
at
got
this
mine
place.
your own.
He
Don't tell me
doesn't
you're
have
stuck
his
in
little
video
brother-
games
no, not his
because
little
we
brother,
counted
his
as
little
horse.
cousin, and his little
That'd
cousin
be
has
so
been
bad.
abducted by the Karen. Real quick, if you made it this
Yeah,
far to the video, comment Karen
I'm
down
gonna
below.
this
That's the secret
this
word
horse
of
is
the day.
creepy, right? It's smart.
I'm gonna heart as many comments I
Like
possibly
he's the
can.
smartest horse
Let's
I've
say
seen in my
Karen.
life, bro.
And also, if you want to continue supporting the channel,
Like
the
pigs
best
are not
way you
smart
can do
actually,
it and
just
help the channel
IQ
grow
shit.
and reach
You
new
just
people
escape
is literally just by
motherfucking many
watching
times,
more
bro.
videos. So after this one, sit down
Can you
and watch
escape
more of them.
now?
But
Can you
please let me
escape
know in the
now?
comment
Or no?
section, what are you doing while watching these videos? Like drawing, or trying to go to sleep, or playing a video game, or cleaning your room. I don't really know. I'd love to hear it. I ask every time because I am genuinely interested.
I think my
Also,
last
as I
getting
said
fucked
briefly
here
in
on
the
the way.
beginning of the video, all of these videos are on Spotify, and even if you're not a huge Spotify user, I do put these videos up at least normally about an hour before they go up on the main on here on Spotify. So if you want to get a taste of what the story is early, go to Spotify. If you are using Spotify, follow, turn on notifications, and please rate 5 stars. And if you want to submit
the
these
baby
stories,
horse?
these
I
are
don't
all
know.
subscriber submitted stories. Go
Man,
to either
don't
my
tell me the
Twitter
baby horse
or
disappeared.
Instagram. They're both at Connor Pugs. They're both in the
No.
description of this video.
I got my
Follow me
llama,
and then
but I
send
don't
me a
know where's the
DM.
baby
I
horse,
don't
bro.
get to do it right away. Sometimes I use stories from
Man, did you
4
adopt
months
them,
ago.
bro?
I
You
literally had
asshole.
used stories 4 months ago, right? So if I don't respond to it right away, don't take that the wrong way. And also sometimes I use your story and I don't even respond because I write it down. I just go straight to it. So always be checking in with the videos. With that being said, use code ConnorPugs for 10% off gamer subs. Join our Discord server, and let's get back to the story. So sure enough, right, Alex is kind of racing around, and at this point, he's really freaked out. Like, he's like, oh my god, like, what am I gonna do? Like, this is so bad, and that's when he gets a phone number, or a call from a phone number that he doesn't recognize. He picks it up, and it's kind of like, hello, it's a security guard officer. The security officer says, hey, can you come to Section B of the place? Like, the security officer says Section B. And he's pretty close to Section B, so he immediately rushes over and goes there. So Alex very quickly rushes over to the security office in Section B. He gets there, and the security officer has a Karen and his little brother kind of not held captive, but asked them to wait. And he's like, are these, like, the two that you described? And he's like, yes. And the little brother, like, runs over to Alex, gives him a big hug, and he's like, dude, like, little bro, look, you can't, or not little brother, cousin, sorry. He's like, little bro, you can't be going out, you can't just be, like, going off with random people who ask. He's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know any better. So the security officer kind of turns to Karen and is like, ma'am, like, can you explain this? And she's like, yes, I can. This little boy over here, and he points to Alex, was very rude to me. So rude. And he is a bad influence on his little cousin. So what I was going to do was I asked the little cousin to come with me, and I was going to teach him manners, respect, how to be a gentleman. But you guys decided to stop me in my tracks before I could do that. And the security officer's like, well, you know, did you get, like, permission from the parents or the guardians, right? And he kind of points to Alex. Alex is like, no, I had no idea. I was searching for my little cousin for a while. And, you know, the security guard's like, okay.
Alright, Max.
Like, what did you tell
I think
the little
Max is
cousin
leaving me
to
anyway.
get him to come with you? And, you know, the Karen was like, I told him I was going to teach him how to be a gentleman. And the little cousin's like, no, you said that you know my mom. And she's like, well, and the security guard's like, so, ma'am, you're telling me that you took this little boy, dragged him with you, and basically said that you knew his parents when you did. And the Karen's like, well, you know, things might have happened. And the security guard's like, I'm sorry, ma'am, I cannot allow you to ever come back to this place. Like, if Alex chooses to, or the family chooses to file a report, we're gonna have, like, with the police, we're gonna have to go with it. And she's like, what? You know, this is my favorite amusement park. You can't take that away from me. You can't take that. That's cruel. You can't take that away from me. I won't allow it. I won't allow it. You don't understand. I won't. And the security guard like is like, all right, ma'am, come with me. She's like, no, no, no. She's being dragged out. So Alex goes, calls his mom. His mom's like, Alex, where were you? We're so worried. And Alex is like, man, like, mom, trust me, I have a good reason for it. Tell us where to meet you, and I'll explain everything when we get there. So, Alex's little brother, Alex's little cousin, I keep getting that messed up, walk over to, the place that they're meeting his mom, and the mom...
Hope I don't. If I lag, if I died, this is bullshit, man.
What is going on? And Alex is like, well, I have a good explanation. Here's what happened. So the subscriber we're going to call for the next Karen story is George. So anyways, right, Karen, George was
Can I
working
do
at the
stone?
movies.
I cannot
this
do
was
stone.
like
That's what I
George was
need.
a teenager. He was working on the weekends at the movies to make a little extra money. So George was working behind like the stalls. Like I don't know if you've been to a movie theater, but if you have,
Yeah, we're gonna.
you can buy popcorn, you can buy candy, you can buy drinks and stuff.
Dude,
like
I'm
that.
out of food right
And
now.
that's actually
Jesus.
where movie theaters really make their money. So
Oh
George
my God.
was like the person behind there, basically making the popcorn and ringing up the register when people would buy it. And earlier that day, a Karen and her family came in and got a lot of stuff, including some popcorn. And she said, "Hey, can I have some extra butter on it?" And George was like, "All right, fine, that sounds cool." And he puts on the butter. He does a good job. Hands over the popcorn. 2 hours later, 2 whole hours later, the Karen returns, and she is not looking very happy. And the Karen walks up with an empty container, 2 empty containers of popcorn, right? And she walks on up, and she's like, "Were you the young man who, made my popcorn?" And George already knows by, first of all, the tone of the Karen, the way she's walking up to him, all of this stuff. George already knows that, oh boy, this is not going to be good. So he's like, yes, I was. He's not going to lie to her, but he's not happily admitting it. She's like, I want a refund. It was not buttery enough. And, normally when someone has a complaint about something like that, that's fine. But what George normally does is he just remakes the popcorn. He never really, I don't know. He doesn't, give a refund. And also, the situation here is a little bit different. Because the Karen came up with 2 completely empty boxes of popcorn. And, George kind of points it out. He's like, well, ma'am, it looks like maybe you didn't enjoy it the most, but you and your family enjoyed it enough to finish both boxes. And the Karen's like, that's irrelevant. We choked this popcorn down. It didn't have enough butter. And George is like, ma'am, I'm sorry. I can't really give refunds on that. Normally, if you came to me and, you had ate some of it and it wasn't to your liking, I would have no problem making you another thing of popcorn. However, I just can't, I can't issue you a refund because, you ate all the popcorn, and then you're coming to me with an empty container, asking me to give you your money back because it wasn't good enough. That's just not really how it works here. I'm sorry. And Karen is like, what do you mean you can't give me a refund? I think you're discriminating me against because I'm your elder. Karen's 40 or something. George is like, ma'am, what? This makes no sense. She's like, you know what? If you don't give me a refund, you're getting a discrimination lawsuit because you hate me because I'm old. That's why you're not giving me a refund. And George was just like, ma'am, that's absurd. That's obviously not the case. And she's like, you're absurd, George. And he looks down. Yes, he has a name tag that says George. So that caught him off guard a little bit. But, he was like, I don't know what else. I'm sorry. I just can't give this to you. It was partially the reason why George didn't give the refund was partially because his own morals / ideas of how the world works. You can't go into a movie theater movie theaters don't make a ton of money, especially nowadays. This happened a little while ago, but especially nowadays. And they only make money and a little bit of money on, the food that they sell. So asking that, George, refund the food after the person ate it all just doesn't make a lot of sense. Yes, if you actually mess it up and put, I don't know, paprika spice or, hot sauce in the popcorn instead of salt and butter, sure, full refund, whatever. But he just didn't add enough butter, and he did remember putting a lot of butter in it. So he was like, okay, ma'am, no. But also the other half is his manager has a very strict, you can't give refunds unless, something terribly goes wrong. And there's, a very few, situations where that's okay. So he's like, I don't know what else to say, but I can't give this to you. And the Karen's like, you know what, George, I want to hear from your manager. And the thing is, right, George's manager was kind of strict, was kind of an older guy. Like, he definitely did not like being bothered by George. George, respected him enough to not bother him that much also. So George was kind of unhappy that he had to pull out his phone and call up his manager. His manager picks up, he's like, what? George is like, a customer wants to speak with you. The manager's like, can you not deal with it yourself? George is like, I'm trying to, but she demands that she speaks with you. And the Karen is sitting there all with a big smug look on her face. The Karen probably thinks that, after this, that she will 100%, most definitely, right, that she will most definitely get a refund, and the manager will come out on his knees like, I'm so sorry, ma'am. You're so right. I'm so wrong. I'm a big idiot, and you're the smartest person
The
ever,
fuck
ma'am.
is
I'm
wrong
sorry.
with me?
So the Karen's waiting there all smugly, and
Alright.
that's
I'm
when
not
the
on
manager
these stuff,
comes
man.
out.
Jesus
And
Christ.
the Karen starts like yelling at the manager. She says, your employee won't give me a refund on this popcorn. He didn't put enough butter. And the manager takes one look at the Karen and looks at the fact that she is holding 2 empty popcorn containers. She has 2 empty popcorn containers. The manager said, ma'am, did you eat all that? And she's like, yes. And we choked it down. I demand a refund. Manager's just like, no. And she's like taken aback. She's like, you and your employer are saying no to me because you're discriminating against me because I am an elder. And the manager's like, how old are you? And she's like, that's a rude question. I'm 48. The manager's like, I'm 52. I'm not discriminating you because of your age. I'm saying no because you obviously are just trying to swindle us out of our money. Ma'am, movie theaters don't really make any money. And the only money that we make, the little bit that we scrape by, is from the food. Don't try and rob us because you're too lazy. You just don't try. Basically, just don't try and rob us, ma'am. I know for a fact that you ate all that popcorn and thought it was fine. If you didn't like it, you would have finished it. And then you came back here demanding a refund. That's ridiculous. Please go along your way. She's like, I'm going to tell everyone on Facebook that this is the worst movie theater ever. I'm never taking my family back here. I never can do it again. And the manager's like, okay. Bet. Nice. Bye. She's like, I'm going to tell everyone on Facebook. I have so much power on Facebook. You don't even understand the amount of power I have on Facebook. I will crush you. I will crush your little tiny movie theater. You don't understand my power. And George was just standing there like, oh, well, I got a story to tell my mom if she asks me when I come back home. We're going to call the subscriber of the next story Will. So anyways, right, Will worked at an after-school gymnastics program where kids would be dropped off after school. They would learn all the whatever, right? And the end of the semester, I don't know what you'd even really call it. It was like an after-school program. At the end of the program, let's say, there was kind of like a little bit of a competition. The parents would be invited. They would be allowed to come, and they would give out
It's a singular
prizes.
tree there.
They'd give out like the gymnastics program award. We're just gonna say that like the best, like the most.
There's a few caves here.
The whatever award.
I'm over the desert
It's kind of
caves.
like a whatever little fun award ceremony. Not everyone got an award, but it really was not that deep. That's what you gotta understand. This was like a little fun after-school program.
Yeah, I'm trying to hunt some
They gave
food.
out little
I don't
dinky
know.
awards.
I have a lot of
At the end
food
of the
here.
day, it simply
But I'm
was
still
not
grabbing
that
food.
deep,
Oh,
okay? It just was not that deep. But anyways, right, so, who was the... Will. Sorry, forgot who the name we were using. So anyways, right, Will worked at the place after school. It was
Nice.
like a little after-school job. He himself was a gymnast, and he was going to college to be a gymnast. So doing this for his senior year was kind of fun, and he got a little money on the side as well. So he was teaching all the kids.
probably there's
There
more
was
in the
this one kid
trees,
who
but I don't know.
we're gonna call Ben. And Ben was like a cool, he was fine. He was a cool kid. He did what he needed to do, but he just didn't win any of the awards because, like, even before the show, they kind of just decided who was gonna win the awards. At the end of the day, the show was just kind of like to show off to the parents and to allow the parents to see a little bit of what their kids learned, and then right after is like the award ceremony or whatever. And sure enough, right, one thing about the awards you gotta know is it's normally they try and give out awards to kids when it's their first time showing up. So if kids have been coming to the camp for like 7 years, they're probably not going to give them the award. The reason for this is the reason why they give out these awards is kind of like an incentive, like for kids to come back. Because, like, a kid, it's their first year there, they have a fun time, and then they get an award. Mom, I want to come back to gymnastics camp. But if a kid's been coming for a while, they're like, we'll give it to someone new anyways. So sure enough, right, Will hands out this award. Or, no, sorry, I skipped ahead. So sure enough, right, the parents come in. Will greets them at the doors like, hello, everyone, welcome to the gymnastics show. He hands out these little fake flyers or whatever. And all the parents, like, line up in the gym / or auditorium in a row of seats. And sure enough, one by one, or in pairs, kids come out and they do whatever they're doing.
Probably,
Some
I'll probably play Genshin. I don't know what episodes this is, so I just type my episodes.
like very low skill acrobatics. I don't even know if I can do a handstand. Don't take that as offense, right? However, some others come out and they do something more advanced, and it's a whole range of things. Because, anyone's allowed to come to this camp, so kids who have no experience, kids who are really good, whole range, and they wanted to show off this whole range, right? So, sure enough, right, all the parents are clapping, everyone's very happy, and then Will is up there with his other camp counselors doing the rest of the award ceremony. So they get up there and they're like, all right, so to the most improved goes to so-and-so, and everyone claps. The funniest guy or the funniest camper award goes to so-and-so, everyone claps, right? The most improved goes to so-and-so, everyone claps.
Okay, I don't know where's my camels. They keep despawning, bro. Unless somebody died.
The
Oh, why the fuck?
gymnastics cup goes to so-and-so, everyone's clapping, right? And the one thing you gotta
Like,
know
these are
is
the
that
only
Ben's name
survival
was not
camel I
followed.
have. Right.
Ben didn't really care that much. He got it last year, so he thought that was cool. He's like, okay, whatever. Someone else can get it. But you know who was very happy? From a crazy kid who tries to eat me in class to a cringy kid who refuses to shower, these are the cringiest kids of all time. Let's go. How's it going, everyone? Today we got a crazy story that I know you'll enjoy. So we're gonna call the subscriber who submitted this story Chris. So, anyways, there's this girl in Chris's class who we're just gonna call we're gonna call her the furry girl. And a little disclaimer: it's totally fine if that's something you like to do. Honestly, at this point, it's not even that big of a deal. Because I know a lot of people in the comment section last time I had like a furry story were like, well, I am one, but I don't act like this. I don't care if you do this. I really don't care. It's all good for you. As long as you don't do what the furry in this video does, you are totally cool in my book. So yeah, if you're a normal person who just has hobbies like that, I don't care. But if you do what this person does, bro, you're not normal, man. As you will see. Anyways, we're just gonna call her.
There's a lot of
furry.
stuff
Actually,
here.
Specifically, we'll just call her Wolf Girl because she has like a wolf outfit or whatever. So, anyways,
We
there's
got-
this girl
we
in
got
Chris's class who
pigs.
we're gonna call Wolf Girl with the disclaimer
Got a
out of
pig.
the way. Also, if you know someone who does this, don't be cruel to them for no good reason unless they try and consume the teacher. Okay, that's the exception where I say bullying is good. Don't take me out of context. Anyways, though, so there was the girl, the wolf girl, every single day would come into class with this like tail type thing. Like she'd have a tail clip on, and some people were like,
Oh
"What's
my
that?"
god.
Like some people they didn't question it outright to her, but Chris's class was actually pretty cool about it, because it's not the most normal thing ever, but no one blatantly made fun of her to her face, which is pretty good. I think we're definitely moving in the right direction when it comes to that stuff, and I'm very happy to see that no one in Chris's class was just being a jerk for no good reason. But yeah, every single day, this girl would wear this like wolf tail type thing, and no one would really care. And the teacher was also fine with it. The teacher just didn't really care about that because he was like, okay, like it doesn't really affect the learning. It's not so overly distracting. Like they were pretty loose with the dress code. You could kind of wear whatever you wanted unless it had like swear words on the shirt or it said something insane or there were
Whoa.
some instances, but for the most part,
No way.
the
No
teacher
fucking
didn't
way.
care.
Give me this one.
The teacher probably would have said something privately if
I don't go
there
anywhere.
was a problem.
I go
But
anywhere. I
every
don't give a
single
fuck.
day, there wasn't a problem. However, all of a sudden, right? Well, not all of a sudden. There was a day, where the story really starts, where they had an exam in this class. It was like a midterm. I just had a lot of midterms. That's
Thank
why
you for writing. I'm gonna explore for a bit. Anyway.
And during
And
this
yeah.
midterm, right? It was a pretty big one.
I have a lot of
It was
sugarcane
the
in front
first
of
of
you.
two that they were going this year. And, Chris gets in there a little bit early. He sits
I
down.
found a forest over there.
A
I
little
don't
bit
know.
later, the wolf girl gets there. And the wolf girl
There's
is
wolves,
not
bruh.
wearing her typical wolf tail and clothing. She's wearing
Can I get a wolf or
a
not, bro? I'm gonna hit my
full-on
horse to get a
wolf
wolf.
suit. Like, she has a big wolf suit, whatever type thing.
Like,
She came
when
in
you tame a
full
horse,
dress,
like, you
bro.
hit
She
something?
came
I
in
don't
a
know.
full thing. And here's the thing, right? The teacher didn't totally understand what this was, and normally probably
I'll
would have
get
been
enough.
okay with it, and as you will see in later, he actually doesn't really care normally. However, the thing about, like, the full, the full fur suit, wolf suit, whatever, is that there was a lot of space in it. Like, the wolf girl was basically wearing a wolf helmet and a full wolf costume body type thing. And it wasn't super clear if there weren't, like, notes or something inside. And
I'm gonna grow
so the
this on my
teacher
farm, bro.
actually,
I don't
like,
care.
kind of, like, pulled her aside as soon as she walked in. And the teacher explained pretty politely, like, hey, can you take that stuff off for the test? Because, the teacher was not sure even what that was. And also he was kind of thinking, oh, well, there's a chance that, I don't know, that there's notes inside. You know how some people will, like, write notes on inside their hoodie or something. And, and at a minimum, it's, like, probably a little distracting for a test environment, at a minimum, right? But the wolf girl was not very happy with it. The wolf girl was like, this is who I am, you're taking this away from me, which, okay, yeah, I don't know if I can fully
Okay, we
get
can craft
behind
Henry
that
now, alright?
specifically.
We can craft
But anyway,
Henry,
the wolf girl was not very happy about
Henry.
it, but the teacher was pretty firm.
Fucking Henry.
The teacher was pretty cool with
So,
everything
yeah.
else. As you will see later.
It's not a
in the
good idea
story,
for
he didn't
strays,
care if
I
the
don't know,
girl
fuck.
wore it at a different time. He just wasn't a fan of it during the test, and also because he just didn't understand even what was going on, right? And eventually they had a little bit of a back and forth. Never got really heated. It's about to get pretty intense later on, but for this time, it didn't get that heated. The wolf girl was kind of just like, oh no, like, that's, like, I'm keeping this on, this is part of me. But the teacher was firm enough in his response to be like, no, I'm sorry, it just doesn't work like that, you just can't, because, like, I don't know, I think the teacher was fine in saying that. So, the wolf girl had to take off her costume. It took about, like, 5 minutes to do so the teacher informed her on when she came back in the room, which the test had already started, that, she could have 5 extra minutes if necessary, which the test wasn't supposed to take the whole class period. So it was kind of just a
There's snowy
courtesy
area
of,
here.
like, I made you go
And a
away for
cave,
5
wow.
minutes, so you get 5 minutes. So this was a very
I think
cool
I already
teacher.
met this cave
Good guy.
already.
She took the test or whatever, and Chris was like, okay, this is very interesting, but I need to focus on the exam. He took it. Chris ended up doing just fine. Chris, you will now have a good job later in life. I'm kidding, it's not always a direct correlation like that, but do well in school, kids, okay? But anyways, it starts to get interesting, though, the next day, because the wolf girl doesn't come into class that day. And I think this was middle school, and by the way, this was submitted to me to my Instagram DMs. My Instagram's in the description. Please follow me first, so I have a nice big number next to my name, and then DM me the full story. Don't DM me saying, do I want to hear a story? Yes, I do. But I also don't want to individually DM people. I try not to accept the DMs at all. I just read the story and write it down because it clutters up the DMs I have. They're already really cluttered. So the answer is yes, but I can't really respond to you most of the time. What I'm trying to say is just submit stories, right? I was told that it was very, very, very uncommon for anyone to ever skip class. I know that now I'm in college, attendance is not always necessary, especially for lecture-based classes. You're not always there. Sometimes it makes more sense to just learn it on your own and show up for tests and exams. That happens. However, at least for me in middle school, no one ever wasn't there in class unless they called in sick or whatever. And Chris just kind of assumed that, I don't know, the wolf girl was sick. I don't know, that's a fair enough assumption. That's sane enough, right? But anyways, as Chris was leaving the class, this guy, like, who was in the class with him came up to him and was like, dude. And Chris and this guy were kind of friends. They were friendly. They weren't, like, hanging out with each other after class or anything like that. but they knew each other. They were on a first-name basis. They had some good conversations when they were group projects. They shared some jokes in that class. But it was still a little weird for him to, like, come up to him pretty intensely, meaning, like, hey, dude, like, you need to, like, listen to what I'm saying. And so, sure enough, right, Chris is like, yeah, what's up? And this guy's like, dude, like, you know, like, the wolf girl in our class. And Chris is like, yeah, of course, the one with the tail. And he's like, yeah, you remember what happened yesterday? And Chris is like, yeah, I remember what happened yesterday. She came into class, and she was in that full suit or whatever, and she had to take it off. And the dude's like, yeah, you know why she's not in class today? And Chris was like, I thought she was, like, sick or something. Like, no one skips ever. And the guy's like, so I happen to know a girl who's, like, either friends with the wolf girl or has a friend, somehow has a connection to her, right? And Chris is like, okay. And they're like, dude, like, apparently the wolf girl was, like, super mad yesterday when the teacher told her to take off, like, the whatever she was wearing. And, Chris was like, okay. And then he's like, oh, dude. And then, like, apparently she's not sick today. Like, she called in sick, but she faked being sick. Chris is like, okay. And he's like, dude, apparently she's just been doing, like ancient rituals. She's been, like, doing, like, voodoo spells on him and black magic spells and satanic curses. She's just been trying to do magic all day to try and curse this teacher. And Chris is like, what? Like, that's insane. Like, where did you hear that from? Like, that's really weird. And he's like, dude, trust me. Like, I know that sounds insane, but I have a friend who has a friend who's, like, super close with her. And the wolf girl was texting this girl all day, telling her about all the different spells and stuff that she was trying to put on the teacher. At this point, Chris is like, oh, wow, so this is a lot more deep than I thought. What is going on? And this guy's like, dude, I know it's super, like, it's super weird. I don't totally get it. But all I'm trying to say is, like, you should definitely be in class tomorrow, because if she comes, she's going to, like, I guarantee you it's going to be entertaining. And Chris is like, damn, all right, like, cool, okay. So the next day comes around, and this is where things really, really get interesting. Or it definitely is where the title of this video...
Jesus Christ, man.
Doesn't necessarily...
I'm afraid of night, bro. Jesus Christ.
But,
like,
no, it does come
I feel like I'm
true,
outnumbered
it
all
is
the
where
time.
the title really becomes an integral part of the story.
Okay, I don't understand. I just go home, bro.
So anyways...
I'm gonna explore that place a lot.
How do we put this right?
Alright.
So anyways, next day.
Alright.
Chris is in class.
Our next
It only took the teacher
expedition
about a day
is...
to grade the tests. I think it was like multiple choice mostly, so it was pretty easy. But there's a lot of kids in the class. Teachers have a lot to do. Cut them some slack, I found. And so anyways, he's in class, and he is kind of just he gets there and he's waiting to see if the wolf girl comes, because that's gonna be interesting. And sure enough, the door opens, the wolf girl comes. And she's in her full wolf bodysuit or whatever. And Chris is like, oh, like, at first Chris is like, oh, shoot, like, the teacher might have a problem with that. There might be an altercation, like, dang, this is about to get interesting. So the teacher sees the wolf girl and acknowledges the fact, like, looks at her, so he definitely knows that she's in this full-body wolf suit, smiles and says, oh, welcome back, hope you're feeling better. No comment at all about the full wolf suit, right? And it looks like the wolf girl was almost, like, shocked that the teacher wasn't, like, upset with her. It was almost as if she, like, was doing that, wearing that to make him mad and be, like, prove a point or something. I don't know. And, yeah, the teacher honestly just didn't have an issue with it. I think the teacher just had an issue with the wolf suit before because, like, okay, first of all, it's very new to him. He doesn't know what's going on. But one, he's like, okay, there could definitely be, like, ways to cheat with that. And also, two, low-key distracting for a test. But I guess he just didn't care during class time because I guess...
Alright, that'll be enough. And time to
distraction.
expedition.
He didn't want to risk anything.
Alright, I was playing the map, so yeah.
So the wolf girl was actually kind of confused. Like, oh, I guess the